The defense of property is a complex topic that intersects with both biblical teachings and legal frameworks. While the Bible emphasizes on protecting what is rightfully yours, it also stresses on compassion and fairness. Whereas when we look at it legally, Nigerian laws allow for reasonable force to protect your property, but with clear boundaries. So join us as we explore the intricacy and perspectives that surrounds the implication of defense of property within the legal frameworks and as well the biblical perspective. Greetings to you from wherever you're joining us, and of course a happy and congratulations, let me say congratulations to all those who participated in the 72 hours dry fasting. I believe you're strong right now, and of course you're blessed because there were so many enormous blessings for you who participated, and of course to you who did not, but we believe that the Father will give you the ability to participate next time. So thank you for joining us on the Regnum Continuous Legal Education, brought to you by Star-Crossed Television. On this episode, we will be looking at a very, very dynamic topic. Of course, I have already, let the cat out of the bag, but then permit me to also let the topic come out clearly. The topic is defense of property, biblical and legal perspectives. What do you understand when we talk about defense of property? Have you ever in your life been faced with a situation or scenario where you have to protect your property against trespasses or what have you? So this episode we have Brother Briggs Iderefaha, who will be joining us to discuss on this topic. So this is a live broadcast. You can watch us via our YouTube page, and of course you can join the conversation via our Facebook handle, PCS Star-Crossed Television prayer line. Please do well to join in and send in your questions. We are ready to do justice to all of them. So join me as I bring to your screen Brother Briggs Iderefaha, Esquire. Greetings to you, sir. How are you doing? Good to have you join us again on this program.
Thank you. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. How has it been? Congratulations on the just concluded 72 hours dry fasting.
Thank you. Congrats too.
All right. So the topic for this episode is defense of property, the biblical and legal perspective. So now let's start by understanding what is property in context. What we may hear. What is property?
Okay. Quite simply,
Property is anything that can be owned, possessed, or controlled by a person, and the law recognizes as having value or right. It includes both tangible and intangible items. Tangible in the sense of things you can feel and touch. The vehicle, the house, a table, a chair. Intangible, you talk about copyright, patent rights, things like that. Some other definitions even go further to define it as a right to possess or enjoy community. That's the right of ownership. In our Nigerian constitution, every citizen the right to own both and immovable property. I think that's section 44 of the constitution. So, in essence, property is a bundle of legal rights associated with it, and with its ownership, such as the use and the exclusion of. So, if something belongs to you, for an example, if you say you're the owner of something, it means you use that thing to the exclusion of other persons. You can say, "Oh, you can use this because it belongs to me." So that's a nutshell of what it means.
Okay, thank you so much. So another question I have for you is, one allowed to defend his or her property against intrusion or theft?
yes, certainly we are allowed to defend our property against intrusion.
But that right to defend your property is not an absolute right. In defending your property, you also have a level of responsibility that the law imposes on you as your property. It means that while at the defense of your property, you ought not to use excessive force. You ought to use defending, or the means you use in defending yourself is proportionate to the level of threat or intrusion into that your property. If you defend your property, let's say if somebody comes to steal your, let's say, phone from your house, the person is not, you only snuck into your house to steal your phone. You realize that you have an intruder in your house. The next thing you go bring a pet and the person dies. Yes, so you have the right to defend yourself or your property from theft. You also have that obligation to use excessive force in doing so. The level of force should be proportionate to the level of threat to you, to your property and your person. Where you are to the point of using force is when there is reasonable threat to your life or limb as a human being. So those are just a summary of how the right to defend one's property works in our legal sphere.
Okay. Thank you so much. You said until when there is reasonable reason. Reasonable fact to protect your life. Maybe you are faced with threats. Now we understand that. Let's bring some statutory illustration in Nigeria, and we have the Criminal Code Section 286, which I know you are conversant with that, and Section 289. Now, looking at both sections, it provides defense for property owners who use reasonable force to prevent trespasses. Now, Section 289 talks about deadly force only allowed where the trespasser threatens life or grievous harm. Now, let's go back to Section 286, where it talks about reasonable force. And now you're still talking about you have to protect the rights of an individual. Like the life of a person is mostly important to whatever property you're protecting. So what is that reasonable force? How can one protect reasonable force or protect his or her property using reasonable force?
Okay. Like I said,
I would explain. When you talk about reasonable force, it's what might amount to reasonable force in one scenario might be different from reasonable force in another scenario. So it is treated on its merit. Now, I use the scenario of, mind you, I didn't use the word unarmed robber because there's difference between a thief and an unarmed robber.
What's the difference? Okay.
The word, first of all, that's the first word I want us to look at. The person must have been possession of either a firearm, the internal device that could occasion harm to the victim or the defender. So when I say armed robber, it could be gun or knife or bottle can cause reasonably to some other person with the intent of stealing from the person what belongs to that person. All that. Under such circumstances, it's different the way you go about defending yourself. Let's say the person carrying a machete to your house to steal. Somehow you as a house owner, you have to defend yourself in that scenario. The law may understand your activity or defense, but if the person comes without any harm, just say, like I use the example of the person enters your property and you discovering this person